Well over 60% of e commerce traffic comes from mobile devices, so it is crucial your Shopify store design is optimized for smartphones. A mobile friendly design benefits both your SEO performance and website visitor experience, so this is something you just can't overlook if you want to maximize your store's potential. In this video, I'll explain why mobile optimization matters in the first place, how to check how your store appears on various screen sizes, and the key design elements to focus on. Okay, so what is mobile optimization in the first place? And really, it just means designing and configuring your store so that it looks good, loads quickly, and functions as expected on smartphone devices and to a lesser degree, tablets. Honestly, don't worry about tablets, but figured I'd mention that. And really, in terms of tactical advice, what exactly you want to improve here. So, obviously, the layout. So, smartphones are used vertically rather than horizontally like desktop. So, making sure the store looks good when the layout is vertical on mobile devices, easy to navigate. So have like large enough buttons so someone can just tap them with your thumb. Menu is easy to find. There's basically nothing unexpected happens when touching the screen around your store. Page speed. So making sure your site loads quickly enough. Don't need to over optimize here. There's definitely diminishing returns, trying to keep shaving off a few more milliseconds. So yeah, don't overdo it. The key thing to keep in mind here, just make sure your site isn't excessively slow. As long as your pages load in less than a few seconds, you'll be sweet. So that's really the main things to pay attention here in terms of just overall mobile optimization. So here's just a few, obviously, screens of like headings. They don't run over edge of the page, images either. Easily like arrows, big enough for navigation, for clicking through image galleries. And yeah, really just want to make sure your store looks good, easy to navigate on mobile devices, because most e-commerce stores, D2C brands get most of their traffic from mobile anyways. So do not overlook this. Like if you just optimize for desktop, you're doing it wrong. So why does mobile optimization matter in the first place? Like I mentioned, well over 60%. Not sure where I got that number from, but on all the stores that I've worked on and managed, they get a lot more than 60%, sometimes 70, upwards of 80% traffic from mobile devices. So yeah, it just depends kind of on your niche, what who your target customer is. But yeah, if you're a D2C brand, you will have the majority of your traffic coming from mobile devices. And also a key point here is a few years ago, Google switched to mobile first indexing. So they crawl the mobile version of your page rather than the desktop version to evaluate your website for SEO. So yeah, if you have poor mobile UX, so say like menus are hidden or links aren't there on the mobile version, but they are on the desktop, those will get overlooked by the Google crawler. So do not overlook this. It is important for SEO and of course for conversion rates as well, because even if very small like friction points, basically hard to find a menu or like just buttons, it's not obvious that they're buttons, those will just kill your conversion rates and you'll get less sales than you would otherwise just by not working on your design, not paying attention to the usability of your store basically. And of course, brand perception as well. Just like anything, if it looks good, easy to use, people will trust you and feel comfortable buying from your store. Whereas if they're like broken links and just things look off, just look like a store is kind of abandoned or just not well taken care of and just lose trust, especially for people visiting your store from social or ads rather than organic. Like even more so, just like cold traffic will be more turned off from just lacking that professionalism in your design. So yeah, don't overlook this, kind of the four kind of pillars of why you want to optimize for mobile. And in terms of tactically how to identify these issues, there's kind of two main methods, just like looking in Shopify theme editor. So you can look how your store appears, whether in Shopify or just inspecting in Chrome or whatever browser you use. There's going to be an option to inspect your page and change the layout for various screen sizes. So yeah, key things you want to pay attention to is just the breakpoint. So where do things get cut off? Basically, check your margins, button sizes, font sizes. how your header looks, if it's sticky or not, like if it is too wide, too tall, basically. And yeah, as well as real device testing. So actually, you opening your site on your phone, crazy idea. But yeah, that really helps as well, just to solidify, make sure that the preview that you see, kind of the digital version, is as it seems, basically, because sometimes something looks good. Oh, it looks good on Shopify, but then when you actually open it up on your phone, things can still look off. So want to double check there, basically. Don't overlook opening your site on your own phone. So yeah, definitely do that. So in terms of the Shopify theme editor, what you can do is just go to store, themes, customize, pretty basic there in terms of looking at your store design. And should go without saying, but pretty much all Shopify themes, any decent theme, will be optimized for mobile anyways, but it still is worth double checking that your store does have a mobile friendly design, basically. In any popular theme these days should have it by default, but still want to double check that. And yeah, what you can do here within Shopify, just jump between desktop and mobile options to see how your store looks on both types of devices. And what you want to do is just update the mobile version of your site. So image sizes, font sizes, things like that. You can set custom, basically formatting, spacing based on the device type. So yeah, if I just jump over here for as an example, you can jump between desktop, mobile. So you can see how, like, for example, here, how the pop-ups, so maybe on mobile, you want to make this text a bit bigger, like the subtitle. It's kind of hard to see here. And then, yeah, of course, you can check here, even like the menu. Okay, there's some like big blank space here. So I would want to check that on actual phones to see, okay, does that real? Does that actually show up? Or is it something here within Shopify that something looks off? And yeah, just as an example too, so you can check on mobile devices what everything looks like. And if you jump back to desktop, should see different options here. So you can set custom padding, spacing, sizing, all that good stuff based on the device type that you're looking at, which makes it easy to do. Just have to keep in mind, it's kind of like you almost have to design your store twice, once for mobile and then once for desktop. So just keep that in mind. And like I mentioned, best way to actually know if your store looks good is to actually open it on your phone or someone else's phone. And ideally, even you could use both iPhone and Android device or whatever other Google Pixel, whatever other device types are out there. Don't need to go too crazy trying to track down every type of phone, but it is worth just checking that, making sure, even different browsers as well. Safari, Chrome, Firefox, Brave, whatever you want to use, or whatever. You can even check your analytics to see what type of browser most of your visitors are using anyways. So that's something you can use, like actually data-based decision instead of just like randomly doing it. And like I mentioned as well, so especially if you don't have multiple devices to check your store on, what you can do is just inspect from within your own browser to check the responsive design on different sizes, screen sizes. So yeah, just right click, like in Chrome, click inspect, and then you can change, like update here, click the little, I can just basically do it here. Nothing too crazy to go about. Don't do it over an image. Inspect, right click, inspect. You can toggle on and off desktop, mobile, basically. And then from here, responsive, you can choose different device types. You'll see how the layout updates just based on like the number of pixels from each screen size and their width. You even check like iPads. So yeah, it's worth checking just to see, make sure nothing crazy goes. You don't have to check all of them. Yeah, I wouldn't spend time checking all these devices, but check a couple, make sure your design looks solid on each of them. And like I mentioned, the key things you want to check are image, font, button sizes, and as well as the formatting. So the spacing around them, padding, margins, all that good stuff. Your nav menu, make sure there's no crazy spaces there. That the hamburger menu shows up on mobile, so it's easy to click. So, and you can even test the usability here. Just like clicking, it kind of mimics just tapping with thumb or finger on mobile. Click around site as well to see how things look basically. Checkout flow. So yeah, it's always worth checking your actual checkout process yourself instead of just thinking like, oh no, why is no one checking out? Looking at your conversion rate, and then when you actually go to do it yourself, add products to the cart. Maybe the cart button's hidden or something weird could be happening to affect your conversion rates. So go through the full checkout process of your store every few months if you can to make sure nothing's changed. Everything is easily accessible and it acts the way that you would expect. Like I just showed too, checking the pop-up size. So on desktop and mobile, making sure they're easy to close. Just nothing looks off. Nothing is cut off basically on mobile devices. And then, really want to jump into a detailed list of how to optimize your Shopify store for mobile devices. Of course, switch to a mobile first theme. So there's tons of themes which will just have mobile friendly layout by default. And one thing you can even do before you splurge on a premium theme, check its page speed score. So you can make sure it actually has like good performance. Most of them should anyway, since they won't have tons of products, but still worth checking. You could compare themes that way as well, just to have something to check. Here's above the fold content. So check how your store looks. So above the fold is just everything that you see before scrolling down. So just make sure it's not any random or like weird widgets taking up tons of space there. Nothing, not like excessive padding, like say here between the image and the first heading. So let's check that. Even here, it's maybe a little bit of white space. So maybe want to reduce that so more of the products show up. And of course, this depends on the phone type. So here you can see this one sees more of the more products showing up basically. It just depends on how tall the screen is as well. And so just don't do anything too crazy in terms of above the fold. Don't get too cute with it. And making sure all of your images are responsive. You can resize them. You can run them through image resizers to optimize them and ideally convert them to web-friendly, mobile-friendly formats. Lazy load them as possible just to reduce load times for your store. Make everything friendly for people browsing with their fingers. So keep your buttons at least like 48 pixels wide. Have like space around them so they stand out. Here, of course, there's no buttons. Go back to the home page. So here, this one, like it's big enough to, you can at least tell it's a button. Not the prettiest design, but it works. So you can still see, subscribe. So just make sure your buttons stand out here. So here, like this one, I would either give it, swap the background, like not make it transparent. Kind of just only the border lets you know that this is a button. So not great for usability there. Just to give an example here, okay, this is like a button. You can just tell at first glance without even thinking about it. So it's easy to see. Simplify navigation, like I mentioned. So hamburger menu here. So the menu shows up, easy to click around, even check like sub menus here to make sure everything works as intended, basically there. And again, for pop-ups. So like I mentioned, make sure that the close button, it's obvious, large enough to click. It's really annoying, very poor user experience. At least maybe for me personally, having like big pop-ups and then you can't even see the X. So it's like, how do I get out of here? And you tap away from it and it doesn't even close. So that's not helpful basically. And making sure everything is accessible. You have all your disclaimers and everything show up well on mobile devices. Like I mentioned, site speed as well. Make sure it's good enough basically. Use CDNs where possible for your images, help them load faster. And optimizing your checkout flow. So checking that all the payment options show up well, everything's formatted nicely on mobile. Checkout page, one of the most important pages, your cart page. So make sure, someone moves through the purchase process, everything looks as it should, very intuitive to use, basically. And Yeah, make sure things in terms of your fonts, at least 16 pixels for your body text. So the text just within like blog posts or your product pages. Don't make things super small where you need a microscope to see. Make it easy to navigate, easy to read. Have like contrast of your fonts to the background. Don't make things too light, like your text color too light. Um, like on a white background, for example. And yeah, just make sure things are spaced out nicely. And there you have it. Those are my tactical tips on how to optimize your Shopify store for mobile devices. If you want my full technical SEO guide, 90 plus pages, check the first link in the description below. Give this video a like. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.